Yeah, it's I think all the matches honestly exciting now.
It's on Reddit?
EU plays
Is it?
fast, they play exciting, so I'm stoked. It doesn't matter what time I have to get up. The energy is always flowing to me to watch the EU games. I'm just excited that I get to watch the Kapow one from the chat.
Alright, so
the Kapow emote.
Leafa strangled himself again with an incredibly small tie. Skinny ties are they're a good look though. It's not a bad look at all. Lawler looks like very, very official. He's making it go into a job interview or something. Oh, these flags though. We dem girls. This is esports, ladies and gentlemen. We dem girls. What's up, Big Taco? 24-hour VOD review stream. Yep.
Across the zone, no one catching that on the side. Remco now with a potential breakaway, and he doesn't get it past Vogan as he challenges that back to midfield.
De Boer is subbing in for Maestro, it seems. Gutted they didn't get my boy Flarky to sub in instead of De Boer. Flarky's way better than De Boer. Look at De Boer just cutting across the middle of the pitch. Oh, okay then. That works.
Just looking slow here. They need to wake up more than we do on this one. Just no one there.
Yeah, that's just a poor challenge by Vogan. Just whiff completely. Weedham Girls, Dutchman, Flipside Kapow, Flipside Precision. Market Weedham Girls, Flipside Dutchman. Market Kapow. Those are all good games. I might actually watch them all. I might actually watch all those games. This could be a 4-hour VOD review. Thanks for the order though. De Boer is a really good player. Yeah, I know, I'm just messing. Like, Flarky's just a really good friend of mine. But De Boer is good. I've not seen much of him recently, but he's still a good player, obviously. I only played against him like once. Me and Marky ran into him and we smashed him. Mainly because Marky's a god. And carried me.
Oh wow! Goodness. The steal, Remco getting that off the roof of his car, right into the top far corner.
So a little bit of a traffic jam, and Dogu going for a bit of an infield dribble. It's dangerous to position your car on the outside of the ball like that when you're dribbling it away from your goal, because if you get dunked on, you kind of just make a little wall for the opponent to bounce the ball off. That was a good attempt, a nice interception by Greasy. He read the pass very well.
Up with a shot, way wide, not going on target. Remco tried to clean out, but misses that. Dogu gets no good touch either. Vogan tries to push it out to midfield. Dogu there for it, but now off the backboard. Jesse, the last defender back. If he gets beaten out, Greasy pushes it to the side again. De Boer getting that boost starve, keeping Flying Dutchmen stuck in their own zone. Good touch from De Boer.
Just annoying Dutchman is De Boer. Dogu trusting Vogan behind him there.
Dutchman team to really set anything up. As soon as they try to, they get punished right away.
It's not the best hit by Vogan. Pretty poor.
They can't really develop anything that they want to do.
A timestamp of Marky's eyebrows interview. Were there any other interviews besides Marky's one? Because I'm definitely looking forward to that interview.
That's a wide open net. Greasy set it up for De Boer. Jesse trying to get that demo. And there, enough time for rotations for Flying Dutchman to come through. Dogu with a shot. Missing that. Remco keeps it away from the slot. Jesse off the backboard. This could be a scoring opportunity, but Remco catches that.
Did they fix the lag thing? It looks like they did. It looks like they fixed the EU lag thing. Marky did too? Oh, baby. I can't wait. I actually didn't see anything today. I saw the results, but I didn't watch the stream because I was busy. So this is genuinely the first time that I've seen these games.
They hit it right back out immediately, but in a dangerous spot here. Greasy showing the aggression, getting up early for it, still shutting down this Flying Dutchman.
De Boer just completely, or was it? Yeah, it was De Boer. Just jumping off the wall to the moon.
Flying Dutchman, hence why they're stuck still in their zone. Dogu with a good chip, right past the midfield, tries to catch it again, but gets stolen out by Greasy. Jesse with a good lob into the corner. Remco on the wall.
Marky interviews are the best. Did anybody else do interviews or just Marky interviews?
Takes that down the field, and that's going to be a shot on target. Oh no, just off the post. And Jesse rushes to get that one to the side.
Doesn't matter though, being up 2-0, especially with the pressure that's coming out so far. They have a little bit of time to relax, but don't want to find.
Oh, what shot.
Because
Oh.
shots like that
It wasn't the best shot,
come in.
but he did get up before the defender,
Remco was
which
fairly
is no mean
confident
feat when you're against Weedham girls.
as they set up for a play. This could be a pass.
What's up,
Oh, a little
lefty?
bit too high for Remco, but Greasy to follow it up. Dogu keeping that one out.
So it looks like Weedham girls just kind of started off faster than
Oh, good pop and pass play coming up
than
from
Dutchmen, but Dutchmen have kind of stepped up now.
Played up here, Jesse recognizing, getting under and popping it straight up.
I'll turn on a light for the face cam.
Beautiful shot on net, placing that far corner.
There we go.
Not get to it. Nice placement. 1 goal difference now.
Only 1 goal difference, a minute 20. Not a lot of time.
They're gonna fix the spectator lag soon. Is it not fixed already? I didn't notice any spectator lag yet.
This entire match. We'll see if they get something set up as they're trying to break out their own end. Bogan, now the last one to put pressure on, but he doesn't. Thankfully for them,
I don't really like
girls
Dogu
also
positioning so far forward there. Okay, well, Weedham girls all backed off, but I mean, as a general rule, if you're trying to clear the ball out of your goal, you want to have one person challenging in the corner, one person defending the near post, and one person at the back post, ready to go up the wall or fly high if need be.
is a 2-goal difference.
Having like 2 people in the corner close together, and then 1 person like in the net, quite dangerous. Looked like a bit of miscommunication there. That didn't look organized at all.
And following up his shot, that's what you want to see out of a top tier team.
Down to the final minute of gameplay. 3-1 in favor of Weird Girls.
You could hear a mic in the
Time to come
background.
back, but it is
Nice.
looking like they're having trouble keeping up with the speed of Weedham Girls. Dogu trying to get us off the ground, getting beat out in the air.
Use a deep Scottish accent, please. Alright, man.
Not much fancy play coming from Flying Dutchmen, and they're getting read out fairly.
That's a really good hit.
Oh, shot on
Shouldn't be a problem for the Weedham girls though.
Jesse now.
That was a very good clear by Greasy actually.
Way wide.
If Greasy just dumped that clear in the corner,
Back a little bit.
it would have been immediately pounced on, I'm sure, by somebody from Dutchmen.
Front, get an aerial from Dogu, puts it way too wide. Jesse just trying to keep the pressure.
Dogu didn't really read that clear very well. Whenever you see somebody like flying up and then hitting the ball kind of away from the opposing team's goal, they probably didn't jump from the right position.
Get a kickoff goal. It's going to go off the crossbar just in case Remco clears that one to the side. And almost to the ground. No chance of winning this one, but at least they were still trying.
Yeah, unfortunate touch for them there. They had a couple opportunities, Jesse. Just
So
popping it
Vogan,
up.
Jesse, and Dogu turning off their Rocketeers.
Can't take that much time with it. If they're gonna give them
They
some
are
time, especially with
just
10 seconds left there,
Just names. I've been doing that recently. I just want it to be
gotta
just a
be
name
little bit more
again.
aggressive, and that's okay.
Got bored of the
They were
Rocketeer title.
warming up in that first match, but they had some good plays being set up. There was a couple good pass plays that they were able to capitalize on. So hopefully they can keep that process going into this next match.
They did seem to pace it up a little bit at the end. And get some speed.
How many viewers were? Oh, you're a legend, Jesse. Of course, because you changed your account. I forgot.
Our first EU game of week 2.
I'm sure you're like well into Rocketeer status overall on all the accounts that you've played on.
We see Greasy win out. That one only has to beat Dogu, but he loses that. The shot going almost on target. Remco and Deborah both up. Gives Dogu a chance to set something.
I saw
Doesn't go out far enough.
Pashi made an interesting thread on Reddit about improvements that he would make to the RLCS, and one of them was team car like decorations, whatever you want to call it. Basically like a team strip. I like that rotation by DeBoer actually. Oh, what a shot. How did that not get challenged though? Notice DeBoer after centering this ball just drives across. He could have blocked a goalkeeper or just stolen the boost like he was going to. That really should have been saved though, to be fair. It was a good shot by Remco, but that really should get contested. Like, just slow people going up for it. I didn't see who it was, but 2 defenders going up is bad enough. It's better to send 2 than nobody, but the fact that nobody got there before Remco is just too slow. Just not fast enough. Who was in the interview against Markey? Who was in the face-off?
Now shot from DeBoer, puts that right back down into Flying Dutchman's zone. Trying to get it over Dogu. Dogu just keeps it out.
Bit optimistic by DeBoer right there.
Greasy shot a little bit wide. Jesse has a chance to get it out.
I always wonder if it's worth doing that kind of thing when the ball is like right next to the opposing team's wall and you see pros or anybody for that matter just throwing their cars at the ball, just hoping to get some sort of random 50-50 into the middle. it almost never works. The ball usually just stays in the corner, then you have a big awkward situation of like, you know, being in the corner with no boost. You're just like, oh, so dude. I'm just gonna chill in your corner if you don't mind. I think a fake challenge would be better. Just like go in, pretend to challenge, debate a hit, and then turn back.
Good team play from Weedham girls.
Look how early Greasy was up on this.
That's a really good hit by DeBoer. Remco unchallenged. Yeah, Vogan's just sitting in the net. He shouldn't be in the net right there. Instead of like being inside the net, it's easier to challenge if you just go beside the net. He's probably just rotated straight back into the net and made a 180 turn, instead of just making a wider angle turn beside the goal. You should never rotate straight back to the goal. You should be making a wider arc, unless it's absolutely necessary to keep a ball out of the net. Be it rotating straight back into the net is not optimal. A couple of misses like that shouldn't go in either. This is kind of like the first one. Like you'd expect the defender to get this. Yeah, looked like he didn't have any boosts, to be fair, because the fact that he didn't challenge and that he didn't boost when he tried to make the save, he probably just got out of boost, which is a misplay in itself. It sounds like the casters are putting it down to hesitation, but it looked like he had no boost. Or he would have used some.
It's just they're getting the clears, but every time they get a clear, they don't chase it, and they're right back into their end. Flying Dutchmen just get a body in the way.
Not to counteract it, but sometimes chasing is a bad thing. But in this circumstance, it's not that they need to chase it; they need to get in and apply some pressure. Follow up the ball, put a shot, put a body in front of it, anything. Otherwise, we don't.
Oh dear. Oh dear. What the? How was the entire team rotated in there? I don't know how Vogan ended up in that corner.
Defensive position. Getting out Jesse's shot potential, but a really soft shot makes it really easy for Greasy to get that one out of the slot back to midfield. Remco trying to get a good bounce off. Greasy will connect with that pop up into the air. Shot from DeBoer goes wide. Had an opportunity, but Remco cleans it up.
Yeah, this game's over already. Just the manner in which Weedham girls are scoring, it's just slow defending from Dutchmen. They're just getting beaten to the ball pretty much, in and around their goal.
It's hard to tell too with some of the cameras, but I feel like they are getting boost starved a bit.
And yeah, that's a good point. Boost starvation is real against Weedham girls.
Ball coming in, especially when you have that possession change and staying on the side of one with offensive pressure. This team is just going to have a hard time getting up for it because they have no boost. So, as you said, starving them from it, making it very, very difficult to play defense.
Vogan taking a lot of time there, allows Remco to get some hits onto his backside.
Some cheeky stuff landing.
Yeah, against Weedham girls, if they're super boost starving you, you almost have to just send one person to the midfield, pick up a mid boost canister, just inform your teammates. Now, you got to be smart about it. Like maybe after you make a challenge and the ball goes behind you back into your half, just go to the mid boost, take a wide rotation back to net, pick up the boost on your way.
But again, every game matters, every point matters, so you have to try hard. Remco carrying that the whole way, but Jesse barely able to keep that out.
Yeah, we talk about
Maka NA, yeah, they have a great offensive rotation. Their problems are all defensive. Are all in defense, rather.
Huge dividends later down the road in case they do drop a couple to somebody that's unexpected.
That's something, by the way. See, when I'm casting, I feel like I have to say defense because we say defense in the UK, but it sounds really silly if I'm saying defense and I'm casting with an NA caster and he's saying defense because the words are just so different. I feel like I have to say defense.
Not able to get that over top, just back to midfield. DeBoer probably going to get a good pinch on that. Throws it right back into the orange area. Vogan a little too under that. It's going to get right back into Weedham girls' hands as they try to make another play to get a sixth goal. Dogu just trying to keep that away from possession of Weedham girls. And there he goes on the field.
That was a weird looking challenge by Remco. Oh my goodness.
They don't have to apply all this crazy pressure being up 5, so showing some patience, showing that they have the defense ability there, but you see it as soon as they have it.
They both sound fine.
Flying Dutchmen just pass it off.
I mean, it's like, if, I don't know, it just sounds like I'm trying to correct the caster passive aggressively. Like, if I'm casting with an NA caster and they go, you know, oh, this is some great defense coming out from We Dumb Girls, and I say, yeah, great defense, indeed. Then it just sounds like I'm trying to passively aggressively correct them, so I'm like, I'm just gonna say defense as well.
Coming out for Flying Dutchman that round.
Yeah, Dutchmen just struggling to defend. They're just too slow. You can't hesitate. You've got to get up fast, and their rotations straight back into the net were also noteworthy. You shouldn't be doing that. The shirt is blinding from Leafix. It's so bright. I can't. Offense, that's the other one. It's not peer pressure. When you're casting with someone, it's your job to try and make them look good and sound good, as well as making yourself look and sound good. You're a team. You've got to try and work together. And that's something that some casters don't do very well, is like, all they're thinking about is what they are saying, what they're going to say, what they want to do with the cast. They're not really thinking about helping out their co-caster very much. But it's important to help out your co-caster, and you'll notice, like I feel when I'm casting, I've never had a bad combination with anyone. Oh. Alright. A goal for Jesse.
That's putting them on the scoreboard.
Jesse contesting DeBoer there, getting in the way.
What's Greasy doing?
Make a quick play and follow it up. Exactly what we talked about.
Greasy?
Got to keep up this pace and do something.
Not the greatest bit of defending right there. I think being on the wall is probably not what you want to do in that position. I think it's probably easier to defend off the ground when somebody's flying in so slowly. But what was I saying? Yeah, I've never felt like I'd had a difficult time casting with anybody in particular, because like I go out of my way to try and make it easy for them, to try and work with them. But I've heard some caster combinations and I'm like, oh, this really isn't working. They're just walking all over each other.
Ball's still up in the air, and I like that they're taking some chance with it, but you still see them playing a little bit slow, especially
back for Greasy to finish it, reading his own pass.
See, this is what I was talking about again, is the rotation is just too sharp for Dutchman. Look where Vogan ends up. He's just right in the middle of the goal, and then the ball goes above him, and he thinks, oh dear, I've got to get up for that. If he just sat back a little bit and didn't go into the middle of the net, he would have been able to get up for that. No problem. Yeah, it looked like you had no boost, Greasy, but even if you have no boost, I don't think going in the wall is going to be optimal. It sometimes works, but I think just staying on the ground and going for a double jump save is more reliable. Because when you go on the wall, you're making yourself prone to mistakes more often, just because it's really awkward jumping off the wall with no boost. But at least if you stay on the ground, you're going to make an easy save. Like, that would have been an easy save if you stayed on the ground. And I mean, sometimes you're not going to be able to save it because you don't have any boost, but other times you will. It's just like, I don't know. It's situational. In that situation, I think going in the wall was silly. You're just like doing a little chameleon impression, like blending into the wall. Walking over each other, aka competitive casting. Well, I mean, I just feel like sometimes I listen to casters, not just in Rocket League, in any esport, or even any sport, just any people who are commentating together. And I feel like one guy will say something, and the other guy will just ignore what's been said and go off on his own little, like, adventure. Just no synergy at all with regard, like, no banter or no conversation, asking the wrong questions.
Coming up from Flying Dutchman, just leaving the ball for Vogan. A little bit of miscommunication maybe there. Got a little bit scary as that ball rushed towards the net. You don't want to leave it, especially.
Yeah, I know. People love walls, Greasy. People love walls. They're like, look at me, Mom, I'm Cucks. Get the camera.
Acrobatic rocket power battle calls. It used to be called the Pepe.
Oh, no, I don't know if Cucks is still here.
Oh, the shot almost squeaking in.
Oh, you've
just touched that one away. That was scary.
This is awkward. Oh dear.
See this Flying Dutchman team play with the ball in front of their net, and I don't know how they haven't gotten, punished yet this game. I think We Dumb Girls is definitely feeling comfortable in their position.
What does X need to do here going into the next game? Oh, good shot. That's actually a good question to ask in a cast Seeks, and I'll tell you why. Because Okay, so we just saw Dogu do to Weeding Girls what Weeding Girls usually do, they just beat people. But the reason that's a good question, Seeks, and the reason you hear it a lot is because when you're a play-by-play caster and you feel like the game is dragging on a bit, and that you want to bring in the color caster just so you don't have to speak for maybe just to give your voice a rest, or just bring in the color caster for some, you know, change of scenery. The reason you want to ask a question like that is because it's a very specific question, but you can answer it in many different ways, and that's the perfect question to throw to a color caster, because the color caster probably has lots of thoughts by then. Maybe you've been talking play-by-play for a minute, for example, maybe not even a minute, 30 seconds of play-by-play. Color caster's been thinking that entire time about the game, what he wants to say, and if you ask him a question like, oh wow, what do you think about that shot? Or, hey, what do you think about that save? That's really specific, and all the stuff that he's been thinking about, he probably can't bring that in to answer your question. But if you ask something like, wow, what are Dutchmen gonna have to do moving forward if they want to come back in this game? Or what are Weeding Girls gonna have to do if they want to come back in this game? Or what have Dutchmen done differently this game to turn this one around? Then that's a really broad question. The color caster can go and, you know, probably bring his thoughts into answering it very, very easily. But at the same time, the question is a very specific goal. It's not a really vague question that you're asking, you know, how many goals, or, you know, how many goals are we expecting to see in the next 5 minutes? Because then the color caster's going to be like, I don't know, 5? It's like a really, you're like, what's the point? It's like a really pointless question. But it's got the question has to have a very specific goal, but also be as general as possible. That's the best kind of question for a play-by-play guy to ask.
2-2 tied up once again, 40 seconds left in this match. Flying Dutchmen looking to take their first game off of Weedham Girls. Can they do it? 30 seconds still possible. They have led on the scoreboard twice now. See if they can do it.
I would love if Rocket League had some sort of ranked ladder where you had a set team that you played with, and then you could have a ranked ladder in the game that you could see how Flipside, Weedham Girls, Mock EU, how they all stack up against like all these other teams that play ranked together.
As it gets closer to the ground, it'll actually change the indication.
7 seconds left. Jesse trying to get the shot off. He can't. Dogu.
I was only one. Oh my word, 2-second goal. What?
Take a goal with no one in net.
That's what happens when you send up.
Yeah, it's so massive panic by Weedham Girls at the end there. They're just like, 2 seconds left, let's just get the ball clear. They all jump up and they don't get it clear. They get scored on. But I was going to say, oh, what was I going to say? I had something to talk about. No. Oh yeah, the final standings. I was only one team away. I thought that Flipside would come first, Weedham Girls second, then Mock EU, Kapow, Dutchmen, RG, or Solid now, PZ, and then Effort. So if Flipside had taken one more game against Weedham Girls, I would have had the perfect prediction, but it wasn't meant to be. Wasn't meant to be. What do I think about your playstyle versus Kapow? I didn't watch your games against Kapow yet, Pashi. I didn't watch any of the games today, but we'll get to that. I'm going to watch them all right now. Weedham Girls is the best esport name ever, and you know it. It's terrible. There's 2 reasons why. One, if you're at a stadium and people want to chant your acronym, W is the worst letter to use, because you can't really chant W. Like, for anybody who's watched League of Legends, TSM is like the greatest chant ever. You just hear crowds going, shouting, TSM, TSM, because all those letters work great together, or CLG. But WDG, it just doesn't work, because W is the worst letter of all time.
We said challenge that. Bogan was in a good spot to challenge as Jesse was rotating back. They didn't.
So I don't know. That's reason number 1, and then of course it's a bit childish.
50-50 coming out. Favor of Weedham Girls.
I don't know. I don't mind it. I think Weedham Girls is an okay name, but W ruins it for me. How you doing, Cormac? How you doing?
And that's the only reason why the ball is still in favor of Flying
NV,
Dutchmen right now.
yes.
Like,
if I was ever making a team, I would always consider the acronym and how good it would sound being chanted.
Still in the zone. Remco can get a touch on it now. He tries to put it in himself, just off the crossbar.
Or you could even do different chants. Let's go, Flipside, let's go. Oh, okay.
Let's see if Vogan now can get it.
Greasy, you will be surprised. You would be surprised. I mean, if Rocket League gets as big as other esports, there will be crowds chanting team names. And they're going to struggle with W.
In the first game, the shot gonna go just wide.
They'll probably just chant We Dem Girls instead. We Dem Girls. We Dem Girls. I could actually see that. That would be pretty funny. Yeah, you've sold me. I like it now. I like it. I've changed my mind. I want to hear crowds chanting We Dem Girls. Yeah, is this not a good enough save here? You've got to get this to the side. It's not easy, but at this level you expect... Wait, did that get dunked on? Okay, hold on. I think Remco... No. No, it didn't get dunked on, or else there would be an assist. But there's no assist, so that was just a bad clear. Remco didn't get a block.
Flying Dutchmen did their best. Vogan tried and tried. He got the first touch, but that's all he could do. Dogu off the wall.
Did anyone see the new team names for the Crown and Jewels teams that I shamelessly stole from Korean League of Legends? That was my idea. When I played for Scrubkiller's team, I actually wanted to do that with like Scrub's team and Pashy's team, since they were both EU teams under the Mucket org. Do like Mucket Blaze, Mucket Frost, but then the management didn't want that. They went for Mucket International, which is a terrible name. So I was like, right, I'm just gonna go and use this idea for another team then. I know, it's so original. It's even better because in Korea it was CJ Blaze and CJ Frost, and now it's C and J Blaze and C and J Frost. It's incredible. Perfect theft.
With a breakaway shot off the crossbar. He tried his best and it was beautiful. Almost getting in the finish.
Hold on. How did this not go in? I need to go back and watch that again.
Look at the placement on the shot, getting up real high, and that's what you want to do with an aerial. You don't want to aerial up into the ball. You want to get over it and fall down onto it with some pressure. It's going to give you a much powerful shot, a much more powerful shot, and it's going to give you a little bit better job on placement.
With a breakaway shot off the
Did he not just have a walk-in goal there if he didn't flick it? I don't know. He did well to dribble it past one defender, then he just flicked it, and he's like, oh, crossbar. Oh well. You can't chant We Dem Girls at the LAN.
I don't know what you mean
Rip
by
their
dangles,
only fan.
Maybe he's just dangling the fate of the Flying Dutchman in front of that.
What is this? Okay.
Dogu
Dogu's saving the blushes of Vogan and Jesse right there.
See if he gets a touch, he can't. To the far side, that's a shot. Jesse to keep it out. Still opportunity for We Dem Girls to take a shot. Good pass over to Greasy.
I'm sure We Dem Girls will be looking for a sponsor as soon as they secure their qualification for the LAN to actually get sent there.
Something they weren't doing earlier. He sees Greasy going up for it and puts his body in a way of that shot, completely shutting down.
That would make sense to me.
With Spider-Man, but Vogan and Greasy gonna kiss each other on the far side and completely take each other out.
Also, I think that the sister team idea is the optimal thing to do in Rocket League at the moment. Having 6 teams under one 6 players under one organization to do like in-house games and in-house practice. Also gives a lot of roster flexibility. So you don't need to get subs from other teams.
I'm afraid my words.
Oh my god.
He's proficient.
No, there's another word I'm looking for. Just
prolific.
Let them do it. You don't have to.
Yeah, Remco going up early.
Nobody's challenging Remco though. Like, it's a really good finish, but the ball's almost at crossbar height before he hits it, and nobody's even left the ground from Dutchmen to challenge. We saw that in game 2 as well. Just people being too slow to challenge.
Back from this, but we're seeing, as we saw in the first match, the We Dem Girls passes that were happening before.
Currently, I would predict the finals to be a full EU finals at the LAN. If jet lag doesn't come into account, it doesn't come into effect too much. I don't think that iBuyPower have what it takes right now to take down We Dem Girls or Mock EU. I think Mock EU's style completely counters iBuyPower, and I said I was casting Mock EU versus. Ooh, hold that thought, but you see Remco here turning off ball cam just so he can see what's in front of him. That's smart, but I don't know. Yeah, he probably shouldn't have double jumped unless he was right underneath the ball. Small misplay, but the right idea to turn off ball cam so you can see what was in front of him. Because if there was nobody challenging him, he could have, of course, just dribbled the ball out. But what was I saying? So yeah, I think Mokiyu's style completely counters iBet Power. And I said that the one time I casted them, I knew that Mokiyu were going to counter them. I really wanted iBet Power to win, because we would have had an iBet Power versus Flipside game, which I've never seen before in the new iteration of iBet Power's lineup. But yeah, I called Mokiyu as easy 3-0, and it was just a very one-sided 3-0. Remco or Depor and Greasy there going out to the corner together, it's not ideal. They could have got scored on there and given Flying Dutchman a chance, but it's not going to happen. But yeah, Flipside, iBet Power would probably be the best matchup for iBet Power out of any of the EU teams, because Flipside are also really aggressive. But I think Weedham Girls and Mokiyu are more organized in defense, and they're very capable of just hitting iBet Power in the counter. You think they'll add something like LoL did, no sister teams? They might do. They might do. I hope not. I think sister teams are fine. Home field advantage, jet lag DU scum. Jet lags, you know, it's a real thing. It could be a big deal. Yeah, that's probably going to be the top 4, but I mean, Kings of Urban are a solid team. Kings of Urban are probably matching up better with Weedham Girls and Mokiyu than iBet Power are, to be honest. Like right now, iBet Power are really good against teams that are worse than them, skill-wise, but when they go against teams that are able to keep up to their pace and their aerial game, like Weedham Girls, Mokiyu, then I think that iBet Power just don't match up very well because their rotation isn't on the same level. It's alright though, Papa Gibbs will whip them into shape. He'll spank Luchino. Try and get him to stop doing so many silly things. Kronovi as well recently has been quite silly. I respect Kronovi a lot though, he's a smart kid. He'll get there.
It just doesn't matter. Weedham Girls always up and getting in the front of the face of this Flying Dutchman team.
Mokiyu could beat iBet Power on a good day. I think that Mokiyu would beat iBet Power quite comfortably right now. It's a stylistic match. It's a stylistic mismatch in Mokiyu's favor. What is Dogu doing? Panic mode from Dogu.
Dogu gets the ball out after that shot doesn't go on target.
You could have probably saw Greasy come in with a shot there, but I'm kind of glad he didn't. Playing it a little bit safer, that's fine.
The new iBet Power vs Flipside has yet to happen. That would be a really interesting game. I'd love to cast that, or just, you know, get my hands on those replays. I'd love to see those games.
Dogu pushing that to the side, Vogan to follow him up. Jesse in a good spot to get this one himself as Greasy wins out that 50-50. DeBoer getting
what do I mean by silly? Luchino just makes silly challenges in defense right now. Like, he doesn't challenge the ball at a very timely manner. He also leaves the net open too much. And he panics a lot as well. Like, he'll just give away possession in defense when he's actually got loads of time to dribble or control it. Those are the main criticisms I have for Luchino. Kronovi, on the other hand, I feel like is just throwing himself at the ball too much in attack and breaking rotation unnecessarily, going for risky montage plays too much. I think Gambit's doing very well though. Gambit's comfortably the best player in North America right now for me. But I mean, Kronovi and Luchino are so mechanically gifted that they will get there eventually if they have the right mindset.
They're trying to get a goal here before it's too late. With already 3 minutes gone, I'm surprised they haven't yet.
Greasy now catches that one off the wall. Good read off the back.
I don't remember what Weedham Girls vs iBet Power's record is. Maybe Greasy could help us out with that if he's still in the chat. Don't know if he's still here. Have I noticed? Oh, crossbar. Have I noticed any difference playstyle wise, NA vs EU? Well, the top 3 teams in EU, that is Flipside, Weedham Girls, Mokiyu, are all the best teams in the world at just controlling possession and dictating the flow of the game, which is something you don't really see much in NA. even teams like RG and Flying Dutchmen, if they're playing well, it can be quite good at that style. Oh my goodness. Dutchmen are not playing very well this series, though. They're just sending 2 people at the ball quite often and being slow defensively. I think they're just panicking because they're getting boost starved a lot. Yeah, Jesse's like panicking. Oh, of course, Jacob is definitely one of the best players in NA. He's really, really good. The only thing Jacob needs to work on is just to be a little bit more reliable defensively, because he gets out of position sometimes in defense. Well, too much.
Other than the couple flukes that were on defense in that game 3, I'm pretty sure it was. But back and forth a lot in this game.
Yeah, the LAN's going to be a long time from now, so by the time we get there, the best teams could be completely reordered. We could see a team like Vex or RG continuing to improve, because they've shown massive improvement recently, and if they can just keep working on it, then they could be teams to be reckoned with. Although RG have got, or Team Solid as I should call them, I've got Gregan coaching them now, so they're screwed. Of course I'm kidding, Gregan's a good friend of mine. I'm very interested to see how they get on.
We have ourselves an overtime.
You've only played iByPower once, Greasy, and it was in Rocket Royale International Finals, I believe, which they won, did they?
Jesse, the last one, or not last one back, but the last one at the ball there.
But I mean, Rocket Royale International Finals is a weird one, because a lot of the EU teams come in after Gfinity and they're just burnt out, I feel. Like, you can't maintain high level of performance for like 10 hours. It's so long to be playing for. It's crazy. Like, you don't get that in hardly any esports at all, to just be playing constantly for that long. Like, the stamina that you need to do that is ridiculous. And, you know, kudos to all the teams who do perform, you know, in 2 tournaments in a row and do well in both, because that's unbelievable. Oh, the first few RRs were on a Sunday? Of course they were. Yeah, you're right. Lower the caster's volume a bit? Yeah, sure. Long one on Sunday? Yep. I think what Greasy's saying is pretty accurate. On a good day, I would expect iByPower to get stomped by Weedham Girls. I think it would be a very one-sided series, because iByPower's rotation is just not very organized. Do I think that Kapow would beat iByPower? No, I don't. I think that Kapow are probably the team that stylistically match up worst with NA teams. Because they kind of play NA style. Just, they hit the ball away a lot, but they're really good in the air, and they're really good off the wall. But that's the things that NA teams do well also. I think Kapow could beat iByPower. I think iByPower would probably win 3-2 though. I think it would be close and iByPower would win. And I think if Kings of Urban matched up against Kapow, I think Kings would win as well. Was that some coughing?
No Maestro. Was that the difference here? It was weird because when Rhythm Girls won, they won so big.
Here, somebody find out, or if any of the I don't know if any of the casters are in my chat. They sometimes are lurking, but can you mute your own microphone at any point? Like this on this setup, do you have a little button that you can mute your own microphone? Because I would desperately need that. I cough all the time, and I would hate to be coughing in the microphone because I'm terrible for that. I've got a little like button here on the cable of my microphone. This, so if you hear my voice cutting, then it's I just flick it on and off whenever I'm about to cough. And oh man, I would struggle if I wasn't able to do that. I'd have to drink so much water to stop myself from coughing.
And then there was just 2 games where they just could not get offensive.
Who do I think will win the NA and EU online finals respectively? iByPower and Weedham Girls currently. But if Flipside show up, they could definitely be unstoppable. I think Flipside on their day, like this is the thing, right? And I'm not saying that Flipside are better than Weedham Girls. Right now, Weedham Girls are the best team in the world for me, because consistency is the mark of a good performer, or is one of the marks of a good performer and a good team. So Weedham Girls are the best for me right now, but like Flipside's peak is like up here, and Weedham Girls' peak is down here. But Flipside also they have lower lows than Weedham Girls. Like Flipside peak is up here, and Weedham Girls is up here. But then Weedham Girls' worst is here, and Flipside's worst games are like here. So Flipside are just up and down, up and down. And if they show up, they're going to be unstoppable, I think. That's just how it is with Flipside. They're the best team in the world when they're all playing at their best. But they're not very consistent.
Yeah, this I think this might be the play that I was.
That was a great pass by DeBoer, by the way, to Remco. And well done by Remco. Vogan again though is just kind of chilling in the net instead of making a wider rotation to the side. If Vogan just rotates to the side of the net there, he can go up for that ball much more comfortably, but because he's gone straight back into the net, he takes himself out the game.
And that's where the Flying Dutchman was getting some free goals.
Yeah, there were all 3 players up for that first hit, and that's why that goal was left so open.
You work a lot in production stuff like this, and you really doubt they have an easy button to turn it off. What, just to mute their own microphone? Oh man, I'm in trouble. No, probably I would be fine. I mean, sometimes I just like clear my throat for no reason. It's like a tick of mine. I don't need to. I'm just like I just clear my throat even though it's already clear.
Finally does something in the series. I thought he had a really poor series this entire time. He had a lot of misses that
What 3 players do I think would make the best possible team? The dream team? Well, the thing about dream teams is that you can't just take 3 of the best players in the world and say, yep, these guys are going to work together. So, I mean, as individuals, like, the best players in the world for me are probably, I don't know, like Marky, Scrubkilla, and third is hard to say. Third is very hard to say. But would they function well as a team? I don't know. Like, you don't know if a team's going to function well until you see them play together, and you don't know if they're going to be able to learn and grow together as a team, or enjoy playing together as a team. So a dream team, I mean, if we're assuming like the absolute peak performance of every player, I would want to have a team of Scrubkilla, Gambit, and Marky Duda. That would be my dream team. Am I sitting on a wooden chair? Yes, I am. I'm sitting on a wooden chair. It's cushioned though. I actually got this chair because when I switched to this chair because when I'm playing, like, this chair forces me to have good posture when I'm playing, so I'll be sitting like this. But obviously right now I'm not playing, so I'm just like, legs up on the desk. Or not the desk, but there's like a bit of wood underneath the desk that I can put my feet on. I'm just like totally horrendous posture. But when I'm playing I have good posture because this chair kind of forces me to sit well. If IBP was an EU team, where do I think they would be placed? That is a good question. That is a very good question. I'd say 4th. They'd be a long way behind Mock EU, Weedham Girls and Flipside, but they'd be just better than Kapow. And although, if Supersonic Avengers stopped their inconsistency, I would put SA ahead of iBuyPower as well. I think SA are a better team if they fix their inconsistency issues and their roster issues. I think SA would be a comfortable 4th in EU, and then iBuyPower would be after them. But currently I'd put iBuyPower at 4th. EU Dream Team, Grok and Cole, Fisho Kid, thoughts? Yeah, it's unstoppable. It's an unstoppable lineup. Hold on, I'll skip a little bit because I've been paying a lot more attention to the chat anyway, so I'll just watch more games.